Welcome back to Tools and Track. In this episode we need to do 4 things. First up, we need to make this pull in a bit less crap. We need to make that be a bit less floaty abouty crap. We need to make this be a bit less, and then lastly we need to make these do twice as much as we normally do. So in the last episode we managed to get NoisyBoy up and running. I am stoked about that. However, the journey is not yet complete. What we need to do now is get the car ready to be mapped. Now, the good news is we have somebody that will map it, and that's coming in an episode probably after this. At this point, what we need to do is make sure the car is going to be acceptable for a rolling road. Now, by that I mean leak-free, issue-free, and will take a damn good pounding in the rollers without causing problems. So, it's got to be as near as damn it ready for where it will be with a map on it. First up, we obviously need to get some form of filtration on the turbo, because at the moment there's none. This might produce some issues if I'm being honest, because the original air filtration route has now been taken up with intercooler routing. I don't really want to go cutting any more holes in the bodywork if I can help it, but if the worst comes to worst and we have to, then yeah, I guess we'll do it. The problem is if I cut holes in the bodywork at this moment and it doesn't work, I've got another great big hole in the bodywork that I don't really need. So it's an absolute last resort. If I can get round putting some form of filtration on it without that, all the better for it. Obviously, the car needs to be able to drive and move and all that jazz. So we've got to get the expansion bottle mounted. I mean, that's a given regardless. And we've got to get the catch can mounted with some form of filtration on the other end of that, just so we're not drawing any crap. Last of all, we need to get new bigger injectors on. Now, the good news is I have new injectors. We'll come to that in a minute. The bad news is it's going to be more or less an entire top end stripped down just to get them on. Less chatty, more wrenching. So I've left the air filter to quite near the end, not because it's a simple problem, actually quite the opposite. It's proven to be a bit of a ball ache. Now this takes off from the turbo and gives us an angle and the reducer at the same time. Now we need to use this regardless. There's very little that I can do in the space available down at the turbo for putting the filter on. It's got to come away from that area. Any filter I have is probably going to touch the exhaust manifold itself and melt, or just not fit, full stop. So whatever we do, it needs to go onto the end of this. So that's our output basically down here. So wherever we're working, we'll need to remove this completely, but also factor on that this will need to go back on whatever we do. Another thing I'm noticing is where I used to have no issues getting things when I dropped them, it's now nigh on impossible. There's just so much stuff down here. Okay, so like I say, what I got provided was an angle to take this pipe through the bodywork and reinstate a similar sort of air filter at the front of the car idea. Ideally, I don't really want to do that because it was pretty messy and didn't look very good. So we're going to look at some options to actually mount an air filter here. My most obvious solution is going to be one of these. Looking at it, we ain't even getting it in that slot. Realistically, we ain't really getting it anywhere without significant bends and pain and misery. This will also foul on this pipe here, so it's out. The other option I've got is, if I can't fit in down here, I could maybe... Oh no, wait a minute. Actually, there is a solution on eBay. Skip to the end. If a cone filter doesn't work, change the shape. Very generic copy of a mushroom filter. So, the good part about this, it's definitely a lot shorter. The flip side is it's actually a bit wider. However, it sits in this gap quite nicely. All I need to do is make sure I can get my measurements right and get an angle on that going into the turbo. The problem is I don't really have much airflow down here, and it's also buttoned with most of the filter pickup straight against the bodywork. Plan C. Let's see if we can mount this guy somewhere else using the pipework supplied. Here, I tell you what, it doesn't look pretty, but it does work. The only question I've got now is, will I have clearance with the bonnet put back on? This might seem like an alarming place to put it, but the Chimaera's bonnet actually does bulge quite a bit. Certainly if you look at the profile of much of the stuff in the engine, it sits higher than what you would think the bonnet line is at. So we should probably have enough air gap here. Question is, Will the bonnet fit? What we're touching here is panel rather than air filter. If we look through the vent, we've got miles of clearance with this. I think we'll just find a solution for the air filter. Let's trim up, put some Jubilee clips on, and not have to think about this again. Next thing we need to deal with, the expansion tank. Now, there's only really one place this can go, which is this gap here just in front of the turbo, mounted off of the cowls for the radiator fans. Now, I do need to offset these a wee bit, just so that the bottle doesn't fall on the fan protrusions themselves. So they don't fall off the fans themselves. So what I've got, rather than just using nuts and bolts, is a couple of these bobbins. Now the good part of the bobbins is, they'll allow a bit of flex, they'll offset it. Most importantly, the reason I want to use them is because they're called bobbins. 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 Yo girl, I hear you like bobbins. How would you like to be bobbing on the end of my... Drill a couple holes for these, slap them on with some nylock nuts, and that's that job jobbed. With the expansion tank on, the next thing on our list to do is get the injectors fitted. This is not going to be a simple task, as I've said. We've got to strip off all of the intake manifold and probably most of the trumper runners here just to get access. Many hands make light work. Luckily, there's two of me. For the purposes of this endeavour, we're going to fit Astra VXR injectors. These are Bosch 440s, which is a pretty good increase considering the stock injectors are 215s. So that's the old injectors out, not looking particularly clean, but I guess they must have been working okay because the car ran fine. Nonetheless, they are now useless, for we have fantastic 440cc Bosch numbers to go in. Fitting these is a bit easy. I'm keeping the caps on the bottom obviously so I don't damage the pintle. Let's give it a good push until it's home. That's all there is to it. 3 down, 5 to go. There. I've got the injectors on, we're about ready to have a first start on that and just check that they work. But while I was doing it, something else just caught my eye. In order for us to map this car, we need to add in a manifold absolute pressure sensor, something that up until now I haven't really had to bother with because we originally mapped the car without the turbo using Alpha N. Now that's been okay, but adding in boost makes things a bit trickier. So I've had a wee look around, and like I said, the car's originally running Megasquirt MS2. So I thought, well, how can we add in some form of map sensor to it? Truth be told, it's already there. I didn't realise the person that built it, which is Phil at Extra EFI, top credit to this man, he's built in a map sensor already to the ECU. So all I need to do is run a vac line to it. So what I've done is teed off from where we've got original vac lines, run through the bulkhead where the window wipers go, and plumbed it in to the back of the ECU. So, another very easy job just ticked off the list. Still to do, I've got to mount this catch can, and yes, I've been putting it off because it's going to involve noise and angle grinders and swearing. But I've discovered something else as well when we were bleeding the car originally. The fans, I never checked to see if they kicked on. Now they've been plumbed in, but I don't really want to run the engine up to temperature and beyond without knowing that the fan is going to kick in. I Again, one of the benefits of running Megasquirt is that I can actually trigger this on the ECU software and turn the fan on manually and check to see if it works. So we're going to do that as well. Once that's all done, it's time to go and find the map. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the bracket. We've done brackets, we've done welding, we know what brackets are. Skip to the end, the bracket looks like this, it's done. We're ready. So, now that we're all set, it's time to jump in the car in the next episode and take it to somewhere to get mapped. Now, as you'll see, there's no more space. We've shuffled cars around, and there's a reason for that as well. And you'll find out at the end of the next episode. And you'll also find out why that bracket was a bit in the dark side when we filmed it. Because, well, actually, we no longer have power at this unit. Again, I'll explain that in the next episode, but some interesting things are coming. So we're finished, all set, ready to go. Tune in to the next episode where I reveal where this car's going to get mapped and how we're going to do it. And hopefully at the end of the next episode, we go on a little bit of a road test with a turbocharged TVR. I'm quite excited. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.